right, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Between the Posts. Today, we are talking with two players from some of Canada's national teams. So we've got one player from our men's team and one from our mixed. We also have, of course, women's national teams. Unfortunately, we only have two guests per podcast. So who do we have coming out with us today, Chad?
Well, first off, we've got Joey Keeley. He's number 8 and a powerful forward for the two-time defending champs of the Ottawa Nationals. And then we also got Simone Dufresne. I'm not sure if I probably butchered that like a mother trucker, but he's representing the three-time defending champs of the Broom Shack as very tall defenseman. So they're mixed. So.
All right, bring him in here.
Welcome, gents.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you for joining us today on this another edition of our Between the Pipes podcast. Myself and Cam. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Chad Schneider. From Saskatchewan. Played with Bandits growing up, and then the Outlaws and Silver Screen as well. We're here to ask you guys a few questions today, Cam and I, and hopefully get some really good answers. So the way it kind of works is we got a question to ask both of you. I'll start with the first person, then we'll default to the next one, right? Same question. So Joey, the way it's set up on my screen, you're on the top, so we'll start with you. Nice. The classic question to get things rolling is, how did you start playing broomball? And talk to us a little bit about your background in the sport and what you're doing now and how you're competing still.
Well, background in the sport, my dad played a lot when we were younger. We were mostly hockey players, my brother and I, and we never really wanted to go and play broomball until one day Dad was pretty desperate. He Pakenham Men's League, and he dragged me along with him, and I really enjoyed it. So I signed up playing with a mixed team, went to that year's provincials in 2010, and the following year we started the Gamblers team, which we had a lot of success with going up. Which then eventually led to us getting on to the Ottawa Nationals team. And pretty much from then on, it's been quite the ride.
Right on. That sounds fantastic. And yourself, Simone? Simon? If I'm butchering it, tell me.
It's all right, as long as I can recognize myself. It's good. So I started around the same time as Joe. So in 2010, I was a soccer player. Most of our team was a soccer player. And one of our good friend, Alex Perrault, that I guess some of you may know, he played broomball, and we all knew the name of the sport, but nobody really knew what that was. And there was a tournament nearby. It was a juvenile tournament, and there was one thing missing in the senior category, intermediate category. So we decided to give it a try. So Alex and I just fielded the team, mostly Alex, but I like to think that I had some parts to play in it. And we ended up playing a tournament, having a lot of fun. We won it with some luck, because I think we scored 1 or 2 goals, and all the tournament was mostly draws, and we did score some goals in overtime. And that's when I started playing. Then around these years, we knew that the World Championship in 2012 was held in Ottawa. So we had this goal to go out there and play this in the World Championship. Because we thought that it would be our only shot at playing in a World Championship in any sport. And we had that goal in mind. We had 2 years to train. So yeah, that's how I started playing.
Very cool. I got a question for you again, Simon. For those who don't know about the high performance program, including me, as I don't know what that is, Explain how one team becomes a national team, the whole dynamics of it,
Yeah,
as
so
much as you know.
yeah, it starts with a really easy task. It's winning the national championship. It's not
Oh,
that
that's it.
yeah, it's never easy. And once that's done, you have to agree to a few terms, like what you basically have to do. There's 2 physical tests in the year, like one at the beginning of the season, one at the end of the seasons to see how you progress. You have to fill like a weekly report on how you train, like how many hours have you trained on ice, off ice. You also have to fix a few goals, like a physical goal for the year, a technical goal, and such. And you also have to play in the major competition. So if it's a year when there's a World Championship, you have to play the World Championship. If not, it's the Canada Cup. And obviously, you have to also play at the Canadian Championship. So as far as I know, that's how you become a national team.
Okay, so it's not all drinking and celebrations. It's actually putting some
No,
work into it.
that's only when you win.
All right,
Yeah.
Chad, you got a question for Joe?
Yeah, I got a question for Joe. I think Simone kind of answered most of it, but obviously, like once you become a national champ, what exactly is required from you to be on the national team, and what obligations do you have? And I think Simone kind of summed it up, but Joe, can you put it in your words?
I think Simone definitely summed it up exactly perfect. I think the only thing I would touch on is, and Simone probably agree, that wearing the Team Canada jersey, you're held to a little bit of a higher standard on and off the ice.
A lot of pressure, too much pressure. So I got a question for both of you guys. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be talking about it yet, but word is for the 2021-2022 season, there's going to be special, they're talking about it at least, special national teams created with members from each teams that were supposed to compete in the 2020 Saskatoon Nationals. And the exact parameters aren't set yet, and it's just an idea in the air. How do you guys feel about this? Is it something you think they should move forward with? Is it just a gimmick? What are your thoughts? Simone, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so well, obviously I don't know all the details. You said yourself that they're not known. I don't know about that one. Like, I'm on board to shake things up. I don't think that we should stay the Canadian team just because we won a tournament like 2 years ago. So I totally get that we have to do something different. I'm not sure if, from what I know, it's the best way to use our time and energy. Like getting some players together that probably deserve to be reckoned and play on the national team is cool stuff. But what are they gonna do afterward? Like, this is your national team and that's it. So I don't think that's the best way. I would like to see some idea, something maybe out of the box, having I don't know, a competition against a series against our US friends out there. I don't know, something like that. I know it's obviously hard to put together and with the COVID situation and stuff, but I would like to see something to help grow the game more than rewarding our best player that are already come to the Canadian Championship and already play everything. Okay. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
All right. Joe, what about you? You like the idea? You hate it? You got something different you could think of?
I know from, just dealing with the Broomball Canada, from what I understand is there's not going to be a team that's going to be competing. There's going to be 3 people picked from each of the teams that were supposed to compete and brought in to do a combine sort of weekend where they would all do the fitness testing, which Simone knows like what we have to do every year. But instead of just using the team who won a couple years ago, they picked 3 players from each team that was supposed to represent.
Okay, so they're essentially just picking players to fulfill the requirements needed by that team, not actually competing as that team.
Not actually competing.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Like, I mean, from what I understand, it's going to be something to get more people involved to understand what being a part of a national team's like. You know, Ontario and Quebec have been a powerhouse. It's to get people to grow the sport. We always want to grow the sport. We're trying to figure out ways to get more people involved. If we can show other members of the province how it all works to become a national team member and what it's all about, maybe that'll spark a drive for them to go back and start some programs and things going on back in their home provinces to help grow our sport and get back in the groove of getting some more people at nationals, right?
Yeah,
So-
and I mean, now knowing that it's not a team going to compete,
Nope.
they're just fulfilling the requirements. I'm definitely okay with that idea because I'm sure not everybody enjoys going to those fitness
No,
tests and stuff.
for
So
sure.
to have it spread out on different teams and not force everybody that
Well, and
you
even
guys
to
already
have
had to
like
do it. So.
even to have like a weekend and then get yourself a team to play against if you want,
Yeah.
would be a great idea.
Yeah, it'd be.
Grow the
I'm sure it'd be
sport,
lots of fun for everybody. So
do some commentating, take some videos, get some good clips. Like that would be a fantastic idea to help
yeah,
grow.
for sure. Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
And that's what it's about. It's just to help grow the sport. And I mean, it's something to get us back in the groove of getting involved in these national tournaments and moving things forward to help promote the sport and hopefully get lots of people on board to get excited and go back to their provinces and help promote it, right? So next question, both of you. We'll go with Joey this time. So in your opinion, which city in Canada do you think is best suited to actually host or has the most installation wise to host national championships? And out of all the ones that you've attended, which one is your favorite?
This question was kind of funny. The my favorite one and the best installation one are pretty much the same. I would like to get out to Newfoundland, but as for where I've been and where's best suited, my favorite one by far was Calgary, where we were at the Olympic Park and stayed right in the Olympic Park. I thought that was
wow.
a fantastic experience. Great facility, like it was an all around, it was well done for sure. Not a lot of traveling like to and from the rink, which was nice. Yeah, no, but for sure, I would say Calgary is the best suited.
Thanks, Joe. And then yourself, Simone?
Yeah, when we ask that question to other people, it's not really talked about the distance from where your hotel is to the arena, but we all know that at some of these tournaments, a few drinks are had, so the distance from the hotel to the arena can be really important, and especially with those game at 7 a.m, you don't want to have to drive half hour or whatever to get there. So,
Yeah,
Simone, what are you thinking? Where do you
Yeah.
want to see it? Who do you think's the best at hosting?
I was thinking also if you play like 3 games in a day, it's always fun that your hotel is nearby so you can drive on and off from it. That's really a tough question. Like Joey, I really enjoyed the Canadian Championship in Calgary. That was my first. The place was spectacular. But one thing I love about the Canadian Championship I've been to is when the only thing in the rink is the Broomball Championship. Like it's in Calgary, there was 6 rink, I think, and like 2, 3, or 4 of them where there was something else. So it's really perfect for me when everything that's happening at the arena is the Broomball Championship. I would like to see one in Quebec, near Quebec, in Sainte-Marie-de-Beauce. I know some friends were thinking about sending a bid for this place a few years back. I'm not sure if they're still on board, but like a decent sized rink, only 2 rinks, I mean, and everything that's happening on the site is Broomball. That would be sweet. But that being said, all the plays I've done, it was always perfect. It was always a nice place.
I'm not sure if we've had too many
That's cool.
facilities where we haven't had a decent one per se. You know, everyone does their great job at making the best of doing what they can when they're hosting, right? So, but back to you, Simone. I guess now you said you were a soccer player and you started playing broomball. I don't know, but who was your broomball role model? I guess when you first started playing, or which player did you look up to when you first started playing? Because I don't know if you said you probably didn't really start playing when you were too young, but with 2010 still young enough, I guess. But
Yeah, well, I was 20 or 21 when I started playing. So yeah, as far as role model goes, it's a bit far. But when I started playing, I always looked up to players like who could do something else, like not only flip the ball and run after it. And there are a few players that you just, as soon as they get the ball, it seems like everyone on the ring just watch them and think, what are they gonna do? And, there are a few players that I watched that are doing that. I'm thinking about Jan Marino or Bobby Bilodeau. And, one of the other player I first started watching was Jeff Bassett, that could just shake every opponent off. He just looked so strong on his stick. And maybe nearer me, when I started playing in one of the leagues, there was Patrick Amiot-Dussault, who just always seemed to do the right play, like under pressure. There was no way to take the ball off him. So yeah, these are the players I'm thinking to.
right on.
You're sure you learned a few things from them. So
I'm not sure if I can do them, but I try.
I'm sure you've tried them and failed, then, at least.
Yeah.
Joey, how about you?
This is a good question for sure. I think like it all definitely went back to one. There's definitely a few names I'll definitely mention, but my dad for sure, Kevin Keeley, definitely has been my role model. Like he's the one who got me started, took me to the rink, never complained when I wanted to go, or when we traveled together. He was a great travel guy. Like just he was any one time I needed advice, any sort of broomball, it was just he was always there and always good to not only myself but like a lot of kids. He's helped a lot of kids through the years. So I can't definitely. As for like on the ice, definitely got to do a shout out to Jamie Dewar. He was the guy in Pakenham back in the day that everyone looked up to, and he pushed us young guys harder than anybody else. And eventually it grew, and a lot of players that came out of that Pakenham league, quite some good players. Mike Papineau and Paul Peterson, I got to play with them in the Ottawa League, and I was a young kid, and they taught me all kinds of different things, where to shoot, how to shoot, when to shoot, just so many different things that I, to this day, never forget.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's always great playing as a younger player and getting to see the older guys and teach you stuff. Younger guys playing in men's leagues is always pretty cool. I mean, playing above where your talent is only helps you grow. So, Simo, I got a question for you that we'll start with. We just talked about people that you looked up to. Who do you despise playing against? Whether it's because they're too good, you just don't like them, they're just better than you, or whatever it may be. Who do you want to throw under the bus right now?
I'd like to throw under the bus Louis-Philippe Boutin, who I play against in the league. I've been playing against him for maybe 10 years. He's a pretty intense player. He's very good. You know what he's going to do, but you have a hard time stopping him, nevertheless. And he has the right way of playing on the edge. Like when he plays against you, you always feel like what he's doing to you should be a penalty. Like he's maybe holding a little bit or a little bit of a stick. But when you watch him play, it always looks clean. The guys know he knows what he's doing. He's very good at it, and it's always hard.
Some of the best players are dirty players that just know how to hide it.
He's not that dirty, but he's just always on the edge.
You never notice it until they come and tell you after, in the change room or something. Like a friend of mine, Thomas St. Pierre, he's one of the best football players I know, but he tells me about some of his little dirty tricks. I won't tell them all out here, but
It's not being dirty. It's called being sneaky and being smart.
Yeah. All right, Joey, I know you love playing against me, but who do you hate playing against?
There's a long list of guys that I despise playing against for sure. And there's a long list of guys that despise playing against me, I can imagine.
I was just going to mention that. Yeah.
I'm well aware. I think I could have go on and on with the list, but it all stemmed back to one place and two guys that I despise playing against the most. That's why I play with them the most I can. It's my brother and my cousin. We spent years playing in our basement, outside, everywhere. And you want to talk about the dirtiest? Well, when you get the three Keeleys together, playing a small game of pickup was the most competitive you could ever see them.
I can only imagine.
Oh, just a nightmare. Like, honestly.
Gotta get some home videos so we can share with everyone.
Yeah, no, it just home videos shared me. Almost a crime.
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome. Anything else you want to add, Joey? No?
Nope, that's pretty well sums her up.
All right. Well, we didn't get to experience the 2020 or the 2021 nationals these last 2 years because of COVID, but I guess when you guys are practicing or training going up to those events in Saskatoon, who do you feel would have been your biggest threat in Saskatoon in your respective categories? Joey, yourself, like you're going in there as a defending champ and you knew who the teams were slated you were supposed to play against and who you're going to be up against. Who do you think would have been your biggest threat?
I think going into any national when you only have 8 teams, it's anybody's game really. It's anybody's week. I know, like I've played Saskatchewan lots of times and been very nervous going up against them. Quebec, your outstanding rivalry. It's always going to be a good game. And even Ontario, like you can't doubt the Patriots for sure. They're always looking pretty good. I think this year, only because we've played with them the last few years, but the Minto Selects would have had a pretty good chance, I think. Playing with the Weidmans instead of against them, or sorry, playing against them instead of with them would have been interesting. Yeah, like it really is anyone's game when you get out there. It's just who comes together the quickest.
Yeah, how true that is.
Yeah.
Everyone can have a great weekend. You can be.
Yeah.
It's just some things seem to align. Simone,
who are you scared of?
Yeah, so like Joey, like you never know who's gonna have a great week when you go on a Canadian Championship, but we've had a long-standing rivalry with the Maritimes lobster fishermen. I think I've been part of 6 Canadian Championship, and we've been playing against them in 4 semifinals and 1 finals. We had the chance to come out on top each time. I think twice in overtime, if I recall right. And I think it's always hard to play against them. And to give them credit, like there's a big tournament in Quebec, maybe 1 month before the Canadian Championship in Témiscouata, and I think they have beaten us every time. Like, and we have mostly the same team. Like both of us, of course, you're gonna add a few players here and there, but it's mostly the same team, and they beat us there, and we got the Canadian Championship, and we have the edge. So yeah, they're a tough team, and to their credit, like they stick to their game, like they keep playing the way they do. Like some teams that we faced in soccer, we call it park the bus. I'm sure you know what I mean. Like they play defensive, they play in front of their goals. The lobster fishermen always go all out. They stick to their style and they play. It's always fun games.
Well, that's good. Well, at least you guys win when it matters, I guess, eh?
So far.
Yeah, who knows what would have happened in 2020, so. All right, Joey, we'll go back to you. What is your best personal broomball memory? And I don't want a conservative answer. I want to throw it out there. Pick one great time you had. I've seen you have a good time on and off the ice.
I have lots of good times for sure. I couldn't narrow it down to one, but I can give you two.
Okay.
Probably the best one, most memorable, was 2011 Juvenile Nationals in Manitoba. When we were a bunch of nobodies, bunch of hockey players, has-beens, nobodies yet, and we came in and we barely made the semifinals, but we started ramping up and started clicking well as a team, and we managed to beat the Sting in overtime on craziest goal I've ever seen. And anyways, it was a memory I'll never forget for sure. And then the next one, another one I'll never forget, is the 2016 Worlds. Has to be one of the greatest. We were down 2-0 with about 2 minutes to go in the semifinals, and we managed to come back and win it in overtime against the Bandits. And then we went to face Bruno in the finals, and we beat them 2-1 in a crazy game. And it was an incredible week with everything that was going on that week. Hard to put a number on which one's the best one, which one's not, but that's all I can give you. Those two
for sure.
They were my favorites.
Classic game.
It sounds like you just love winning, I guess. So
yeah, well, who doesn't, right?
Yeah, exactly. Simon, how about you?
It has to be the World Championship in 2012, like our first championship. We came there, we had no expectation at all. We basically had never won a major tournament yet. And it was the first time that we had a whole week playing. Like I think we played 12 or 11 games, something like that. We got better each and every game. We were a bunch of young lads that still fresh legs in the finals, and that's what helped us, because entering the tournament, I think we were very far from being the best team out there. And as the week was going on, then we got better and better, and we won. And we had trained for it also. Like we had fixed that goal 2 years back, and we had that in mind. So yeah, that has to be my best Broomball memory.
That's awesome. We're a little early here on time, so I got a bonus question for you guys. You can see I'm rocking my Syracuse Can-Am sweater. What non-national tournament would be your favorite? It can be provincials, or it can be Can-Am. It can be St. Agathe. What is your favorite one where you go, it's not about winning, it's just about having fun? I'm looking for all the tournaments I can play in this next season. So, Joey, what tournament should I look out for?
I mean, if your question is not winning and going to have fun, there's no doubt in my mind that Syracuse is my favorite tournament for sure. But outside of nationals, as far as tournaments, a little biased, obviously, with the Canada Cup because I'm the one who's putting it together. But Worlds and Canada Cup are a lot of fun, bringing the American guys over and bringing the world travelers over, and seeing my friends from Australia is nice at the Worlds. Like, definitely can't deny that Worlds is probably my favorite, when Canada Cup right behind it. If I'm going to have fun, though, definitely Syracuse. There's no doubt.
It's definitely a good time there. Simon, what about you? You got any secret Quebec tournaments that are a good time I don't know about? Or?
Yeah, well, the one I talked earlier in Témiscouata, like most of the guys that go out there, they play in 2 or 3 categories. You play like 15 games in a weekend, so that's a pretty sick tournament. And you said a tournament that we have fun. So the one time I've been to Vegas, I've had a lot of fun. That was a pretty sick tournament. So that's one too. I think we had like a
lot of fun. I forgot about that.
See, you forgot about it.
Yeah.
I understand.
That's one I'll have to try out. Just got to convince enough guys to go down. It gets pretty expensive, and that's not just playing broomball. I mean, I'm sure there's money spent elsewhere down there. So. All right, Chad, you have any more questions for them?
No, I'm I'm good. Like I said, we're trying to grow the sport. Thank you guys so much for attending this podcast and sharing some of your great memories and knowledge of the sport with us. And hopefully we can get it grown up a little bit, like get some more teams involved. We can get some more provinces back on board. We really need to figure out how we can get it growing a little bit more and back in the Maritimes and Newfoundland and, you know, back in Alberta and try to get some more teams involved. And hopefully we can get nationals back up to more than an 8-team or a 10 team event, right? So that's the goal of this. We're trying to move forward and try to grow the sport. So thank you guys for being a part of it and sharing your memories and great experiences.
All right, till next time, guys. See you later.
Take care.